Part 1. White Clouds. Verdant Rain Moon. Tower of Black Winds. The ceaseless rains that satiate the verdant landscape of Fodlan are accompanied by fierce winds and mighty roars of thunder. This abundance of rain, sparkling as it falls against beams of emerging sunlight, is a constant reminder to the people of Fodlan that nature is ever wild and unpredictable. For when the rain finally does take pause, the clouds part and give way to a glorious rainbow.
I have a new mission for you, Professor. I would like for you to take your students into Kingdom territory to eliminate some thieves.
They stole a hero's relic from House Gautier of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, the Lance of Ruin. Their leader's name is Miklan. He is apparently a disowned son of House Gautier. I believe it had something to do with his lack of a crest. Such happenings are fairly common within the kingdom.
The Crestless cannot unleash the goddess's power even if they possess a relic. Nonetheless, they are still capable of simply wielding those weapons.
The hero's relics are immensely powerful weapons. We must meet this threat with adequate force. Unfortunately, most of the Knights of Seiros are away from the monastery, purging the apostates of the Western Church. So we are entrusting you with this mission. After all, you wield the Sword of the Creator, which is more than capable of opposing any relic.
The Sword of the Creator is a powerful weapon well beyond the other relics. You have nothing to fear. However, to ensure that no harm comes to the students, we will also send the monastery's most skilled individuals to aid you.
I must remind you that you are expected to conduct yourself in a manner befitting the wielder of that holy sword. Also, you should know that Professor Hanneman has been looking for you. That is all.
I heard about our mission for this month. So, we are to eradicate thieves in Kingdom territory. I'm sorry for dragging you into the Kingdom's petty squabbles. This should not be your burden to bear, but my own. Thank you, Professor. Hearing you say that puts my mind at ease.
Your Highness? Ah, it's been ages!
It's been a long time. 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, Your Highness. You've grown so much in those years, I hardly recognize you.
This is Rodrigue, an old friend of my father's. I believe I've mentioned him, if you recall. When my father died 4 years ago, he looked after me as though I were his own son.
You flatter me, Your Highness. It was my honor to care for such a fine young man. It's nice to finally meet you, Professor. My son, Felix, has mentioned you on occasion.
What brings you to the monastery, Rodrigue? Is it the thieves plaguing the kingdom?
I'm afraid so. This is not merely a problem for House Gautier, but for everyone. The thieves have set up their headquarters in Fraldarius territory, and are mercilessly pillaging the villagers of that area. You have our full support in stopping those dastards. I thank you for your help, both of you.
Good of you to come, Professor. I've heard much about you lately. Specifically, that you are able to awaken the Sword of the Creator's power. Thusly, it seems the true nature of your crest has been uncovered. I had, of course, seen your crest before. However, at first, I failed to recognize its true nature. Eventually, it dawned on me that what is visible is perhaps merely a small part of a greater whole. In other words, your crest is too significant to be detected when using normal instruments. After this discovery, I began researching crests that might fit that description, which allowed for a temporary hypothesis. However, I could not be certain. The crest my conclusions led me to was far too unusual. A crest thought to have disappeared from this world in the millennium since the fall of Nemesis, the King of Liberation. The crest of flames. That is what you possess. Your ability to wield the sword of the Creator has unequivocally proven my hypothesis. A legendary power, dormant since time immemorial, and now resurrected. There can be no doubt that this ancient power resides within you.
Thank you for your invitation. To what do I owe this surprise? What a lovely smell. I like this tea very much. Thank you. Smells lovely. Yeah. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Am I that terrible of a woman? So I'm a little unkempt. What of it? That's right. Professor? Your gaze is sensuous. I don't hate it. It's good. Thanks for the treat. Come by the infirmary anytime you need anything. I'll be waiting, Professor.
Good results.
I passed.
I must continue to work hard.
Huh, okay. No big deal, really.
Oh, what a relief!
A stone? A stone. I do not understand. Yet, as I think of it, the pounding in my chest grows faster still. But is that me? Or is it you?
Hey, I could use a hand. Thanks. I'm glad I asked you.
That's so.
I'm not secretly eating cake. Okay. What's Bernie doing right now? Oh, fine. You got me. But keep it a secret, all right?
The next mission is to rout bandits in the kingdom, is it not? I find the idea unsettling. Though the bandits have captured a large prize, they are insignificant in and of themselves. The matter would be more appropriately dealt with by Margrave Gautier or the Fargus royal family. I grant that I am most likely jumping at shadows, but I fear that if Fargus is weakened, the tipped scales will lead to widespread unrest.
It's awful, just awful what happened with the Rite of Rebirth. The infirmary. Well, it was a mess. Things are finally calm again, and so I've come here to unwind. Let me tell you, I put all of my knowledge to use keeping those kids alive. Still, the truth of it is that when someone faces death for the first time, well, they figure out who they are. They learn if they can do it again. We can't lose them, Professor. Not to battle or to cowardice. If you can keep them going, then I will too.
Oh, why is that fish so still? Wait, is it swimming sideways? Perhaps it is resigned to its woeful fate of being plucked from the water and eaten.
Ah, Professor, you are so outgoing with all of the students. I would like to have more opportunities to connect with you, though I'm certain my brother would disapprove. Might you help me with a favor?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Oh, come to think of it, last month there was something to report, wasn't there? Thanks to you, I hear that everything was resolved. I never realized that bandits had entered. I'm not a great guard after all, am I? I hope you will forgive me one day.
Would you help me out? Knew I could count on you. Hey there.
I could use your help.
Wow, Lord Rodrigue in the flesh. What is Felix doing? This is such a rare opportunity for him to see his family.
I have a request. Hail, Professor. If I may introduce myself, I am Gilbert. My life has been spent as a dedicated knight. I am to accompany you on your assignment. I may have slowed a step in recent years, but I pledge to you the full extent of my abilities. No, Professor. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you.
I have heard that someone from House Gautier, one of the Kingdom of Fargus's noble families, is causing some sort of commotion. What a complete disgrace to the nobility.
Professor, I've been hearing about you a lot lately. Word on the street is you wield some amazing sword. If you ever want to sell it to me, I'd pay top G. Just kidding. Sorta. It's, not for sale, is it? Hey, how about a favor?
Hey, Professor. Don't you think everyone's making too big a fuss over these crests, or heroes' relics, or whatever they're called? How important can that stuff really be? Personally, I don't even care that I don't have a crest. I'll take muscles over crests any day. Heck, I'll take muscles over a hot meal. Actually...
I thought school life would be peaceful and quiet, with a sprinkle of drama to keep things interesting. But since you arrived, it's been one thing after another. Is that just a coincidence, I wonder? Oh, I was just kidding. Anyway, as I said before, I do like having a little drama in my life. Aristocrats are fools, allowing their lives to be dictated by their crests. Though, I suppose I am much the same in that regard. Not possible.
Hey, Professor, did you happen to see that man I was looking for earlier? I just spotted him by the dining hall, but then he ran away. Oh? You saw him by the entrance to the monastery? Thank you, Professor! Father, I found you at last!
You and your class were at that fight in the Holy Mausoleum, right? I sincerely hope the holy artifacts are unscathed. I admit I wish I could have been there to see it all, even if it does make me queasy. But I was there too early. I'd gone first thing in the morning. At noon, one of the monks chased me out, saying I'd been there too long. Who were they to decide when I'd been somewhere too long?
So, you have a crest too, eh, Professor? Does that mean you're descended from nobility? You've certainly got the look for it. I sure do wish there were more nobles like you, Professor. A teacher, a mercenary, and so very mysterious. How could a girl ever get enough?
Professor, I'm gonna keep training until I can beat you.
Yes. I have never had goings to the kingdom's north. I hear the people of North are cold and have much loneliness. Professor, I hear you have worked as a mercenary in the kingdom. Did you find joy in this? You cannot remember? Is that having possibility? I have amazement.
Oh, that man I walked past earlier. That wasn't Lord Rodrigue, was it? House Fraldarius is a powerful noble family, linked to the founding of Fargus. Lord Rodrigue, its current leader, is a magnificent warrior. He's known as the Shield of Fargus. A dozen or so years ago, during the Northern Campaign in Srang, he performed splendidly as the king's right hand. Come to think of it, wasn't there someone from House Fraldarius amongst this year's students?
You acquitted yourself honorably last month. To think they'd go into the Holy Mausoleum and assault the Goddess Tower. I cannot imagine the Western Church was acting on its own. Someone must have been helping them. As for the masked knight who escaped, his days are numbered. I hope we find him soon, so I can kill him myself. Need something, Professor? I'm on an important... Until then...
Professor, have you seen my son, perchance? I have need of him. Is that so? Thank you, Professor. I must ask him not to distract you, Professor, nor His Highness from the matter at hand.
Professor, I'm so sorry my older brother is causing you all this hassle, Professor. Don't misunderstand. I always thought he was a piece of garbage. But I never thought he'd steal the relic. I can't wait to see his face when he realizes I'm in the group that was sent to take him down.
Quite so. The head of the Western Church holds the title of Bishop. That's not as distinguished as an Archbishop, such as Lady Rhea, but it still comes with a fair amount of authority. If someone in that position plotted an assassination, I cannot help but think it must have been instigated by some outside force. There are bishops in the Eastern Church as well, but to speak frankly, they do not have much impact. They are under the influence of both the Archbishop and the Leicester Alliance, so their ability to voice grievances is quite limited.
Some people are unhappy because they don't have the crest they want. And some are unhappy because they have a crest they never asked for.
The coffin of Saros in the Holy Mausoleum should have held her remains. Instead, they say it held the sword of the Creator. What could it mean?
For a hero's relic to be stolen, it's unheard of.
And just last month, the sword of the Creator was almost stolen too.
Also quite unheard of. What impudence.
Say, I hear that a knight of Saros named Gilbert will be joining us for our mission this moon. He is skilled, which is surely a boon for us. Still, that was not very thoughtful of Lady Rhea. No, it's nothing. In any case, you should at least introduce yourself to him before we depart. House Gautier is Sylvain's home. It would be nice of you to check on him as well.
I know Lord Rodrigue. He paid repeated visits to His Highness after the previous king was killed.
Mercedes. Her face looks familiar.
You guys have it bad in your own way. But believe me when I say we've got it bad too. With all that happened last month, a great many knights were dispatched to the Western Church. And now we must set out for the Eastern Church, located in the far east of the Leicester Alliance. If I must die in Alliance territory, I wish it wasn't in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. I'd much rather go on a sightseeing trip to Deirdre. Oh, you don't know? Deirdre is House Regan's domain. It's called the Aquatic Capital.
Okay, I'm thinking...
I've
had a chance to spar with Gilbert of the Knights of Seros before. I couldn't get a single strike in. If that man is accompanying you on your assignment, you can rest assured that no harm will come to you. To be honest, he kind of reminds me of someone. But no, it must be my imagination, right?
Professor, you looked like a natural wielding the sword of the Creator. It's strange though, isn't it? The last owner of the sword was Nemesis, but I thought he didn't have any descendants.
So the whole plan to attack the monastery was some plot devised by the Western Church? That means they used Lenato. What right do they have to drag a good man like him into their schemes? There's going to be a big investigation into the Western Church soon. I wish I could be a part of it. I want to hear for myself why Lenato had to die.
You have helped me so much.
Need something? This one? This one? You're all set. This one? You're all set. This one? Set. See you again soon.
I have a lovely idea. How about I invite another friend next time so that the four of us can enjoy each other's company?
Of course! That sounds delightful and not the least bit likely to cause anxiety.
Have you seen a man who looks like me? He's middle-aged and relatively tall. If you get the chance, tell him I've gone out, okay?
I heard about the things you did. I'm so glad Lady Rhea is safe. I figure you're a great person after all, Professor. I learned all sorts of things, so I can do as much as possible for Lady Rhea. Cleaning, chopping wood, making feed. Oh, and I'm learning the bow and arrow from Shamir. I'm happy to help you out with anything you need done for your class. You betcha. I'm your guy, Professor. Since, you know, you can't exactly add me to your class or anything.
Hey there. Hey, Teach. I hear you were able to use the Sword of the Creator. That means... What does that mean? Could it mean that you're a descendant of Nemesis, the King of Liberation?
Ah, Professor. Geralt was looking for you. It seems he has gone off somewhere. If he is not in his room, then surely someone has seen him. Ask around. I have something to ask of you. I have something to ask of you.
I am trusting you. You must be rather bewildered by the power that was hidden within. However, know that I believe in you. I have no doubt that you will use that power justly. You will most certainly fulfill the grand destiny that the goddess has seen fit to grant you. May I ask a favor of you? May I ask a favor of you?
Professor, are you looking for Captain Gerald? I just saw him in the Knight's Hall a little while ago. He was talking with a female knight, but I didn't get a good look at who she was.
Oh my! The crest of flames? Could it really? Yes, the actual crest of flames! Ha ha ha! No, that is quite enough. I should compose myself. I must remain objective in my research. Objective, professional. The scandal with the Western Church troubles me. We cannot afford to let ourselves be swept along, and yet...
Hi. Don't you think Professor Hanneman's been acting a bit strange? Maybe he's made some kind of big discovery.
Maybe. The assassination attempt on Lady Rhea, the theft of a hero's relic. I am up to my ears in foul news of recent. Speaking of, there's a terrifying rumor swirling around Garreg Mach these days. Apparently, a spirit of death wielding a huge scythe has been kidnapping young maidens. Will the madness never end?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your effort.
That reminds me. The Leicester Alliance is governed through roundtable conferences between the 5 most prominent allied dukes, the 5 Great Lords. First and foremost is Duke Regan, the Alliance's leader. Joining him are the heads of House Goneril, House Gloucester, and House Ordelia. Lastly, there is the newest addition, Margrave Edmund. These 5 each have voting power in the conferences. Before House Edmund, it was House Daphne that was counted amongst the 5. However, it is said that the head of that family relinquished their vote to House Edmund, which had only recently risen to significance.
Over already.
Oh, Gerald? He said something about visiting a grave. There's a graveyard attached to the monastery, so you'll probably find him there. I can't remember where the graveyard is, but I bet Sedith knows.
We're back. Ah, the graveyard. Of course I know it. It can be a little hard to find. Would you like me to show you where it is? Very well.
I wanted to ask you to join me, but I couldn't find you. So, here I am. I was thinking we should visit your mother. She's resting beneath this humble grave. Oh, of course you would ask that. I wouldn't know where to begin. I suppose I haven't talked much about her. She was gentle and smart. Oh, so smart. A wonderful cook. Always kind to everyone. And she loved flowers. Whenever I brought her back an unusual flower, her face would light up. I cherish those memories. I can't count how many times she made me happy just by smiling. And she smiled the most when she was pregnant with you. She died right after you were born. She wasn't able to spend much time with you. But she loved you with all her heart. That's the truest thing I know. Never forget it. This ring is the only keepsake I have of her. In time, it will be yours. One day, I hope you'll give this ring to someone you love, as well as I love her.
Well done. You have my thanks.
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. Actually, if I recall correctly, which is my job and passion, there were reportable happenings up top as well. That's why I'm still stuck with Mr. Backup. I'm still here by request of Lord Sedith. You can never be too vigilant. Truth be told, I'm used to the guy by now. Not Yuri, though. He shoots him a pointed glare every time he walks by. How eerie is that?
It's like this. The best fighter in Abyss? Balthus, probably. Yuri's definitely the most cunning. Constance is the strongest with magic. The most dangerous of them all, though? Happy. You've heard the rumors, haven't you?
You know, you're a busy one, aren't you? Always on the road. Being a professor seems like a tough gig. Back when I was first enrolled here, we rarely traveled. The Battle of the Eagle and Lion was about it. This really stirs up the old memories. When I took part, my house lost. May have been my fault. It's hard to believe, but I was pretty rash back then. Hey, think I can join in again this year? Bet you can pull some strings and make it happen, yeah?
Miklon. I know that guy. In Northern Fargus, he's pretty well known. And not in a good way. The guy does what he pleases. Attacking towns in Margrave Gautier's territory relentlessly. Stealing food and even abducting women. I may be the leader of a bunch of thugs, too. But I'm nothing like that slime bag. Hate's a strong word. It's more that I think I could lead his bandits in a better way. A hero's relic can turn a slimeback like Miklon into a knight. I know you've got one of those shinies yourself, but don't go doing anything reckless.
Nice sword, Chatterbox. I like how it lights up. That's a neat trick. But now that you have it, the church is gonna want to use your power for their own ends. Are you gonna let that happen? Oh, come on. You can't be so passive. You gotta think for yourself. You're too good to become one of their stooges.
Elfric used to use his position in the church to look out for Abyss. He basically set this whole place up for us. Then some scandal or other forced him out. Gotta wonder what got the church so riled up.
Thanks. I'm a quick study.
So this is how it's done.
Got it. Wow. Nailed it. Cool. Thanks for the treat, friend. Let's do this again sometime, yeah?
We can handle it.
Sure. Nice to have help for once.
We did well enough.
That worked out well.
Well, that worked out.